Welcome back, Northridge Nation, to the Northridge 4x4
Do-It-Yourself Garage,
where we get to show you how to install the parts onto your Jeep. And today we have a JK in front of us. This isn't just anybody's JK, this is Briann's JK. What are we doing today?
we're installing the Teraflex 1.5-inch spacer leveling kit.
Look at the smile on her face. She's excited. This is her first Jeep and her first lift and your first 33s. And why did you decide to go with a spacer lift?
Well, first off, it's super quick and easy. We don't have to worry about shocks or changing out steering components. You just slide the spacers in and we're ready to go. Second, I was just looking for a little bit of lift just to fit my 33-inch tires. And third, I was looking at a bumper and winch. So this spacer leveling kit will help support that weight.
Yep, that extra bit of height will make up for that extra weight on the front. So this is the perfect reason why you go with the spacer lift to start out with. That is a great beginner kit, and the Teraflex 1.5-inch spacer leveling kit is that a great starter kit. It's also really great for those who already have a lift kit and they need just a little bit more. They can throw it in on top of their springs as long as everything else is designed for it and run it. So I say we just get started. I say you just get started on this. You're doing this one yourself, right?
No, I think I'll definitely need a little bit of help.
All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is what? You've seen us do this many times before.
Measure for our baseline measurements.
That's right. We're going to measure for the baseline lift measurements. We're going to do it before and after. You'll get to see exactly how much lift we got out of this kit.
Let's do it.
All right, what we have here is a notebook, and I have drawn two houses, the before house and the after house. Of course, the peak of the house indicates the front of the vehicle. We're going to go around and make notes of the height at all four corners. We're going to measure between the bottom edge of the wheel straight up to the edge of the fender, and do that both before and after to see how much height we actually get. Of course, it's a spacer lift, so we are going to get the exact height that the spacer is thick. All right, so that front corner this is passenger front corner, right about 29 5/8. So the first thing we got to do is remove the track bar bolt. And it's actually easier to do when we're on the ground, but in the air we can do it. Go for it.
Alright, so what I have here is the Teraflex spacers for the front. They are made of a high-performance poly plastic, and I have two of them, you'll notice. So if you have seen a JK, you might notice that the rake, as in the front, is lower than the back. And this Teraflex kit is a leveling kit. So if you want to maintain the stock look, you can just go ahead and use one spacer, but we're going to level it out today and use both of them. So we're going to go ahead and pull the factory isolator out and put our Teraflex spacers in. And then we're going to put the isolator back, and that's going to help hold the spacers in place while we put the spring in. That was easy. Okay, now that we've got the spring in, we're going to go ahead and turn it and make sure the end of the spring or the pigtail is seated in the proper place. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the sway bar links. Why isn't it coming off?
Okay, so you've got some miles on this thing. And what happens is the threads get dirty on here and the nut gets stopped. And then as you're trying to spin it out, it's just spinning the ball in here. So what you're going to need to do is grab a 6mm Allen key and stick it right in the end of the shank, and then you can use a wrench to pull the nut off. Now, one of the things about using a 6mm hex key is 6mm fits it when it's nice and clean, but sometimes you'll find because there's rust in here, what you want to use is a 7/32 hex key. And then now you can use a wrench and spin that guy off.
So Teraflex includes in their kit some extended sway bar links that we're going to be installing now. It's just a little bit of an extension for that lift. Once we get these installed, then we're done with the front. Alright, so that's all there is with the front. We're going to go ahead and move to the back, and we'll get the track bar bolt in when it's on the ground. So we're at the back now. It's pretty much just like the front. We're going to start by taking out the track bar bolt. Now we need to remove the lower shock bolts and the lower sway bar links and we don't need to replace the sway bar links in the rear. So in the rear we do have to do a few extra things, including removing the brake line bracket from the frame. That's a 10mm. So before we put the spacer in place, we're going to use some grease around the edges to help it pop in. Tim?
Yeah?
Why isn't it going in?
Well, I got a little trick for you. So we're going to take this little, go ahead and hold it up there. We're going to take this little bottle jack, and it looks like we're going to need a spacer. Okay, use one hand to hold that right there. There we go.
Yay!
Now, of course, I can't take credit for this. One of the mechanics out there showed me how to do this.
So once again, we're going to put the factory isolator underneath the spacer and then our spring.
Okay, so put your isolator up first.
Isolator. And don't forget about your brake line bracket bolt. So that's it with the install of the spacer. So let's get it on the ground and see what it looks like. Alright, so you may be wondering what tires I'm putting on. Well, I'm just going with some 33s with this small lift, and these are actually Gladiator factory tires that I may have just found sitting around from the boss's Gladiator. So I'm just going to throw these ones on for now. Oh, by the way, thanks, David. Alright, so the last thing we have to do is the front track bar bolt, and of course, little Loctite. kit on my JK. And I know it's not quite as cool as the giveaway Gladiator, but this is my first JK, my first set of 33s, and my first lift kit, and I'm pretty darn excited. So, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and check out the description box where you can get a Teraflex leveling spacer kit for your Jeep, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Northridge Nation.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hold that. So,
You sure that's the right size?
nope.